this.
I'm telling you, it's real.
You're listening to BRANDCAST Around the World with me, your host, Brandon Berkeley. Join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to BRANDCAST Around the World with me, your host, Brandon Berkeley. Good morning. It is Wednesday, June 30th. And we are going to be partying here on the podcast this morning. Just kidding, actually. Way too early to be partying, but big thank you to everybody that's joining me right now. I see a couple people in the chat here. Welcome, Kevin, Mano, Derek, Hannah. I seen Hannah in here earlier, but the messages aren't there for me right now. And anybody else that might be in the chat, especially if you're lurking or if you're a first-time viewer, listener, welcome, welcome, welcome. Lots going on in the world today. I, as usual, did my morning workout. Felt amazing. I'm really pushing it. I'm at about 45 kilometers per hour right now. Doing that for at least steady 10 minutes of cardio in the morning. I'm really kind of upping it, so I'm pretty proud of that. But good morning, everybody. Today, I was thinking I was going to be going on YouTube to look at some various topics because I do need more topics for the podcast. It's something we're going to be getting into. Like I said, you can message me on my website or even just leave comments here, and we'll get into some of those. There was actually something I was looking at here. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out a way, essentially, to pull up a web broadcast so that you guys can watch certain things that I'm talking about, like different videos and whatnot, because I've been watching some really interesting things that I'd like to share with you guys, but sometimes it's next to impossible to access. So speaking of doing all these workouts and whatnot, I've been doing a lot of fight training. I'm not sure if you guys know Sean Hamilton, my friend. He's an artist. I've been getting all my friends into boxing. It seems like this big wave of boxing is hitting everybody right now, but I've always kind of liked martial arts, so it's really nice to be getting back into that. A lot of fun. So I went boxing with my buddy Sean Hamilton yesterday. We threw some punches around, and it was a lot of fun seeing everybody get into it. I talked about it last week, saying that maybe at some point we'll set up a little boxing event. I do know that there's some fighters around me. Forgive me if I butcher his name. Jesse Cronje, who I think was training with Mitch Gagne, who was a UFC fighter as well. These guys are all local fighters. So hopefully they don't hear about this, because they would probably easily beat the shit out of me. But I would love to learn some lessons from them. I'm really getting into this whole martial arts game again. Quite extensively, so it's a lot of fun. Great workout. I mean, the good thing about it is you're doing this cardio with your friends. You don't even realize that you're doing this workout and you're kind of enjoying it. What's up, Kevin? Sorry, Kevin, I missed you there. I trying to say hello to everybody in the chat. Sometimes I miss you, but good morning. So yeah, on July 10th, there is a UFC event for anybody who cares. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. Everybody knows Conor McGregor. He's kind of a big reason a lot of people know about the UFC. So Conor McGregor is going to be coming back, doing a fight. There's not a lot of hype around it. I haven't really heard too much about it. Usually Conor McGregor is throwing steel dollies or, talking trash on the internet. But he's not too loud on this one. But it could be because Dustin Poirier actually knocked him out. Something you don't really hear a lot about, because Conor McGregor is built up of the UFC child. There's a lot of love for him. And I don't hate the guy. I think he's quite tough. I think there's a lot of kinks in his armor as far as his stamina goes. I think he needs to work on his cardio, but I'll be excited to see what he does as far as coming back against Poirier, because Poirier just knocked him out heavy the last time they met. So a lot of people, I posted in my story yesterday on Instagram, I said, who do you think is going to take it? And everybody's voting McGregor, of course. I'm not sure if anybody knows who Poirier is, but yeah, he's taken him out before, so it should be a good fight. We'll see what happens. I'm assuming, if I had to place my bets on it, either Conor will knock him out in the first or second round. Conor has a lot of power, but he gasses out. He's got no stamina. His cardio is really bad. He seems to just play off the fact that he's got a very strong left hand. So he tries to get that. So I'm going to place my bets on Conor either taken in the first or second round by knockout, or he will get submitted or gassed out or knocked out by Poirier in any round beyond the second, and we'll see beyond. Anyways, so that's that. I don't know if everybody's a fight fan, but I think it's really fun. I really enjoy that stuff. And if you're not, maybe get into it. Place your bets in the comments. We'll have a friendly bet. I almost want to go against McGregor. So, I will. I'll go Poirier. I'll say Poirier in the third round by submission or knockout. I won't go. I'll say if it's a knockout, he'd probably go later. So I'm going to say third round, he'll win it. So leave me your comments below. I don't care if you're not a fight fan. I'm helping the UFC right now. You're going to have to get into it. Pick one and go from there. So I think I talked about this a little bit last week. Conan O'Brien is retired from late night. I didn't really realize the extent of this, and it's really kind of got me bummed. He does have a podcast where I think he had, it was Joe Rogan who did Quentin Tarantino the other day, which is really cool. I think a lot of people are getting into podcasts, clearly. Because I think it's one of those things where you kind of get to connect with people, on a more one-on-one basis where there's not some kind of barrier of having a setup show or like that literal kind of screen between people. I think this is more of like a personal thing. What's up, Kieran? Welcome to the podcast. Good morning to you. Or I'm not sure what time where you live exactly, but I believe you're in the United States, so you should be somewhere within a few hours difference. I know some people, some listeners that I have, or fans that I have, and friends in Australia. 15-hour difference, or Lucy in the UK. I think for her right now it would be about lunchtime or so. Yeah. I was thinking about starting off this podcast today, just, scaring the shit out of you guys, saying, like there's an asteroid coming for us. It's the end of the world. Imagine just waking up to that news. Just ruin your day. Maybe one day. Now I've kind of ruined it, though. So I can't get away with that. On April Fool's, I could have done that. It would have been really, really, really smart. Coffee. Cheers to you if you're drinking coffee right now. I assume Minot might be. And if you are, good. I'm glad you're a part of the coffee gang. I couldn't live without it. Actually pulling up YouTube just to pull up some of these things that I'm seeing here in the news. Something really, really sad news. Kind of shifting topics really quick here as we do on a podcast. Mark Hoppus of Blink-182 announces that he has cancer. It's like, damn. I guess this is growing up. It's really, really difficult to see that kind of news, but as a cancer survivor, I'm really hopeful that it's going to be a positive outcome for him. He posted and deleted something that I shared, and I had actually shared it on Facebook as well, and then he untagged himself. So I'm not sure how he's feeling about it. A mix of emotions, but it makes me feel quite sad, to be honest, because Blink-182, Mark Hoppus is a legend. He's like, it's weird because, we get emotionally attached to people we don't know, but it's like they have such staples in our lives. Like I remember when Michael Jackson passed, I was pretty sad too. And it's like, I never met the dude. Well, I did actually, but he didn't know who I was. I didn't play in Australia, but yeah. So hearing Mark Hoppus with cancer is a devastating thing to hear, but it's kind of been on a decline for a while ever since Tom left Blink-182. In the sense that they're kind of the memory of it is kind of been fading. We've been kind of getting used to the idea of Blink-182 not being around. No offense to Matt Skiba, but when he replaced Tom in the band, it just wasn't the same. It's like you can't really replace such a prominent member of the band and just say, it's still the band. But it seems that Blink has always had a lot of drama concerning the band itself. They've broken up many times. There's Boxcar Racer, Angels and Airwaves, and there's one more. What was it? Boxcar Racer and Plus 44 was the other band. So they had a bunch of different bands and have broken up many times. But I really wish, given the prognosis that Mark has, that maybe they'll relook at what life is and how short and precious it is. And what could be the best outcome here is that I would love to see Mark kick some fucking ass. We're rooting for you, Mark, big time. I hope you'll never hear this, but I'm really, really hoping and praying for you that you come out of this like the champ that you are, and that maybe Tom will take a little bit of a break from studying the UFOs and Bigfoot and all that. And he's doing really well with To the Stars, but I hope he'll take a break and maybe realize how important or special it would be even to the fans. So taking themselves aside to bring Blink back on tour. If they came locally with Tom back, I would have to see them. I'd be hell or high water. I'd go see them. I didn't have a chance to see them prior, and I did have chances. I actually passed them up, kind of, just thinking that it was going to be, ample opportunity to go see them. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So, sending prayers to Mark. Hopefully, you're doing well, and you kick some ass. I know it can be very difficult, but having good people around you, keeping high spirits is definitely the way to go. And yeah, it kind of sucks to hear some sad news like that. 8 in the morning. This is what I throw on you. I'm sorry. Well, it is what it is. I ended up watching the rest of the WandaVision series on Disney Plus, and holy jeez, did that ever get me emotional? More than I thought. It seems like the writers at Disney and Marvel and all them, they really know what they're doing. They're so good at this. It's great. So no spoilers there, but I found out what the White Vision was all about. Maybe some spoilers. Maybe I'm going to kind of talk about it. If you want, you can click away, but I apologize. So this is my thoughts on the end of that show. I won't really go too into it, but it seems like Wanda didn't fare too well in the end, somewhat. She didn't get exactly what she wanted, but when Vision touched White Vision on the forehead and he transferred all of his memories, so fake Vision, or Vision that, you know, the outcome, transferred all of his memories to White Vision. So technically, White Vision is out there somewhere. Meaning, if Wanda can find that White Vision, she's kind of got Vision back. That's my thoughts. I'm probably ruining this. I'm sure it's going to show up somewhere in the future. We'll find out. What's up, Rob? Love you back. Thank you for being here. So, some people are saying they haven't watched it, so I'm sorry. I think there's a delay on the chat, but regardless, there it is. That's my prediction, is that it all works out in the end, because it seems like Marvel has the long game approach. They seem to connect all their stories together. I've heard some rumors that the Doctor Strange film is going to somehow tie together with WandaVision. In the middle of watching Loki, the new Loki series. Actually, today an episode comes out. If you don't have Disney Plus, I feel like I'm advertising everything. Actually, don't get Disney Plus then. Fuck Disney. That's what I'm going to say, okay? Don't buy Disney, although they got some great shows. I love the fact that I can swear here and just kind of do whatever. I don't know if you guys find that offensive or if it's like off tone or off brand for me, so maybe I should curb it, but let me know. I just feel like in my real life, I swear like a sailor. I can't help it. If you wonder why I keep looking down, it's because that's where I have the chat here. I just, I'm looking at my phone trying to see what you guys are saying so I can kind of keep up. So I definitely need more topics, that's for sure. Like I said, I would like to have some interesting kind of rant topics or things that you guys might find of interest. I'm really into like different kind of scientific things and nerdy things. I've always wanted to talk to you guys about quantum physics and the slit experiment. I think I talked about this a couple times, but not in depth. So this is why I'd like to do a web broadcast, so I can kind of give you a video we can watch together and go over some of the things inside, if that is something that interests you all, because I'm starting to learn that science is like magic. Everything that we live in and we think is true, or what we believe is true and what is reality, it's like it's not. Everything's like so messed up. And this experiment, basically you have two different outcomes, whether somebody's watching the experiment or not. So if nobody's watching it and we film it, you get one outcome. But then that's kind of like almost not definite. Like you have many possible outcomes with the slit experiment. But if somebody's watching, it becomes a definite. So it's a really odd thing. Like I'm going to try and bring this up at some point. I don't know if anybody's ever studied quantum physics or looked into it, but it seems like until we observe something in quantum physics on a very microscopic level, it's not there until we like absolutely observe it, or many possibilities are there until we see it. So it's like people are saying that there's like a multiverse or many different potential us's, meaning like there's a blonde you, a redhead you, or an evil you type deal. Every instance of something has happened, so every choice you make, the opposite has happened somewhere else. Meaning like with the slit experiment, they're basically firing photons through like two little slits, and they create a pattern on the wall as they're firing them. So when nobody's looking, they create kind of like this wave form. So it's like one slit, two slit. You'll see it from shooting through. But when somebody observes it, it just creates two definite slits instead of all these little slits together. So people are absolutely puzzled by this, and we have no idea. And it just makes us think that maybe all these other slits are all the possibilities until we define, until we look at one, which is our reality. So that's a definite, if that makes sense. It's like, I heard an astrophysicist talking about this, saying that it's kind of compared to like video games. Whereas if you were in like Grand Theft Auto, certain parts of the map are loaded while you're visiting them because the CPU can only handle so much at one time. So while you're visiting that part of the map, the other parts of the map aren't loaded. Do they exist? Yes, but they aren't there because they don't need to be, and it's too much of a processing power. So it seems like when we go on a very, 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 very small scale, the same thing is kind of happening. When we visit that piece of the map, it appears. And if we're not there, it's not present. So it almost makes you think that we could potentially be in a simulation. That there's so many different options available, or who knows? But like I said, science is magic, and it seems to blow my mind, some of these theories. So I'd love to bring up the slit experiment because, an astrophysicist can explain it a lot better than I can. But I think it might be really interesting in the future. I'm going to try and book some different guests and maybe get Derek to help me out, because there's many people across the web that we could pull in on a Skype call and have these interesting conversations where we could kind of probe some different questions, just kind of like the Joe Rogan podcast and whatnot too, where I would like to have other people in here just to bring in some interesting conversations, get into the wild and the extreme. Schrodinger's cat, yes. Okay, so at least Kevin knows a little bit about a little bit. I don't know what he knows. He knows a lot about quantum physics. Yeah, Schrodinger's cat, which is basically we know nothing. Another thing people don't realize is based on the theory of relativity, gravity is a theory because we can't physically test it. So, interesting thing is as much as people think, that's a secure thing. We have a very, very, very good idea, which is, 99.9% accurate of what gravity is, but we're unsure. The world seems incredible. Einstein looked into a lot of different theories with space, time and space, and how he said they're kind of one and the same thing, which is really interesting because if you bend space, you can bend time, meaning if you have a straight trajectory in time, you get somewhere faster. But if you were able to bend it like that, it would be slower. So you'd almost have a curve. And he says time is like that. Space can be bent, and affect time. It's crazy. I'm getting into a lot of heavy stuff here. There's something I was thinking specifically, and I can't remember what the hell it was now. About time and space. The hell was it? That's where you get into the theories of wormholes and whatnot. Oh, it sucks. I hate when I forget something that's really exciting to talk about. All right. Oh, yes. Here we go. I remembered. If you ever seen the movie Interstellar, where Buddy travels at the speed of light for X amount of years, if you're traveling at a certain speed, I think it is the speed of light, and you travel for 10 years, by the time you come back, I think it's 50 years have passed here on Earth, even though 10 years have passed for you. So it's an example of how time and space don't make any sense whatsoever. It's just mind-boggling to think that even though we exist on the same plane of existence, time is relevant to the not the user, to the person experiencing it. That's what Einstein said. So it's really, really, really crazy to think all these magical things exist with science, and we're just sitting here going oh, it's beautiful out today. It's I wonder what exists way, way out beyond there. What's on the other side of a black hole? Danger, most likely, but what if it is a wormhole, or what if it just kind of rips you apart, or who knows? This stuff blows my mind. I love watching documentaries about it. You kind of get hooked on it. At first it seems like it might be boring, and then you start watching this stuff and you realize, holy shit, this is incredible. I was actually talking to Sean about that yesterday a little bit. He's into that stuff too, and it's really interesting when you can actually have these conversations, because people add to the conversation. They know so much more about it. Kevin seems to be dominating the chat right now. I'm seeing a lot of Kevin. I'm guessing you definitely like your quantum physics, which is awesome. Light versus wave. There you go. Yeah. Woo, science. I have no idea. You have no idea. I would talk about this 24/7. Well, that's great. Yes, Interstellar was a great movie as well, though. Kevin saying it made him cry. It's like almost with WandaVision. Oh my gosh. I didn't think that was going to get me emotional, but yeah, no, Interstellar was definitely a sad film in its own right. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a longer film, but it'll make you think. It actually almost reminds me of an independent film called Moon. Really, really, really cool film that I would suggest taking a look at. It kind of takes place in one area, which is how they kept it low budget. It takes place on the moon, and a man just kind of discovers some secrets about what's been happening and why he's on this moon base and whatnot. It is really good. I would recommend that. Not a lot of people heard of it. I don't think it was a big budget film at all. Well, clearly, no big names. But really good storyline. I remember seeing the posters, a very minimalist poster with this kind of like hypnotic looking background. It's like, you know, those spiral kind of things they use in hypnotism. They have like that, and behind this guy walking on the moon. Really great poster. If you haven't heard it, go try to look it up. I don't know if it's on Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or whatever you might have. How is Hulu? We don't have that in Canada, I don't think. I remember it used to be a thing on the internet, but it wasn't a streaming service. It was just like... I think people used to like even illegally host TV and stuff on it. It seems like it grew into a legitimate thing, though. I don't know. There's so many TV things out here and streaming services now. It's getting crazy. I wish there was like a way to bundle them all together. It might be smart for them to kind of come up with a plan, like a package that you could like get all 6 of them together, just like cable companies kind of did. Because it seems like that's the new wave of things anyway. I'm not looking forward to seeing, 5 or 6 commercials on a YouTube video. I know that's coming eventually. I think YouTube is in the process of talking about that. Any video that's over 30 minutes long, or 28.30 seconds long, will have extended commercials, meaning you'll be watching 5 or 6 commercials. Like, great for the creator, very bad for the user. But then that's where it makes everybody kind of go to premium. But premium will also probably increase in cost. These are all the little things that I see behind the scenes kind of going on. Because, as YouTube grows, it's really interesting that like larger companies are starting to realize that there's such a big potential for them to put their brand on there. Adult Swim was showcasing the first couple episodes of Rick and Morty for free. Just knowing that they're going to grab millions of views in revenue off the first couple days of that, and then also sell it for the people that'll watch it again. It was a really good episode, the first one I seen anyway. So I probably will be getting it at some point. But yeah, it's incredible. I've called this for a while. I think there's probably about maybe 5 more years of independence being able to rise up on YouTube before people like Disney, people like big companies like Disney come in and just start giving you free content on YouTube, free content, and just kind of soaking up a lot of that cash, just realizing that there's so much out there. I think people are starting to realize how lucrative a YouTube business can be, over many years, or if you already have a following. Looking at some of the people that have like 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, I've spoke with a couple of them, and they do quite well financially monthly. It's quite incredible to see how independents can come up with this source of income. But I think that's the problem as well, is that bigger companies do see that. I had an older gentleman talk to me recently. He said he wanted to make a YouTube channel, asked if I could help him because he thought it would make him tons of money. And I said, well, if you're going to put in years of work and get good equipment and yada yada yada, you guys can't even really see a lot of what's around me, but there is a lot that goes into this. I mean, to do a live stream is with a good camera is an interesting venture. So I'm kind of sad to see these bigger companies move in, but at the same point, it is something that I think was going to happen regardless. Is the future. They all seem to find their way in no matter what. They get their claws deep within us. So it is what it is. Soon enough, I'm sure. Actually, no, I was going to say Disney's going to buy YouTube. Wow, wouldn't that be something? I could see that happening, actually, considering they got Star Wars. How dare they? Star Wars, my baby. I can't believe that, actually. And they did ruin it. It's funny. We all called it. We were waiting for Jafar, to fight Darth Vader. And sure enough, we got whatever those new movies were. They were pretty much just a remake. They redid the story with new characters and different lightsabers and purple hair, and then killed off characters in the same movie in the same. No, I don't even want to. I'm not going to do it. If I could, Nope. Kathleen Kennedy. She really hasn't hit the mark. I'm glad they're really giving Jon Favreau and what's his face? I can picture him with the cowboy hat and all that. Kevin Feige. I hope they really start to realize the power and strength of true fans having reign in there, because I didn't even think I'd get this emotional, but when I was watching The Mandalorian, and spoiler, Luke Skywalker shows up and just dominates, I got goosebumps and chills. It's like, I didn't really think I would. I didn't think I was like that devoted. I like lightsabers the most out of Star Wars, but when I seen Luke come in and just chop him up and do all that, it was like being a kid. What a great feeling. And I think Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige really have captured the mark. Even watching the Clone Wars, people are like, oh, it's a kid's show. And then you watch the Clone Wars and you're like, holy, like this is deep. Like literally, I got emotionally and teared up on the last episode as you see, Anakin become Vader, and it really shows you a whole new side and other friends. You see Anakin as not a Jedi Master, I guess, but a teacher, a mentor. He's got a Padawan, and it's a really, really good story. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I'm pushing Disney Plus right now. They got The Simpsons on there. Can't go wrong with The Simpsons. Yeah, I still haven't worn those Simpsons shoes that I bought, those special editions. I got them right in front of me here. I got to find a place to kind of stash them, put them up, make them look nice. Sean Hamilton and I are actually also going to be working on a pair of sneakers. We've been talking about this for a while. We're going to do a hydro dip on an old pair of Nike sneakers, kind of do a anti-capitalism look. We're thinking about maybe even doing like some kind of stenciling on it. We might do a raffle for it or something like that if somebody wants to get their hands on maybe one. I don't know if we'll sell them as a pair, but I think it'll be really cool, or at least a nice little art installment that'll be coming soon. Now that everything's going to be opening up again, Sean and I had previously talked about doing an art installment where maybe it's something like video and an evening of fun, where it's like you kind of walk in, you see a bunch of different art installations using black lights and mannequins and projectors, just kind of creating a really psychedelic kind of feel when you go into a place. I think it'd be nice to have like wine and cheese. You go through like an art gallery of all of like Sean's beautiful work and stuff, but it's also kind of contemporary and modern. So you have, almost like every room is a different phase of art or a feeling, you know what I mean? So you can really go through and kind of have some fun, start some conversations with people, and then maybe watch a film at the end of it or something, or something artsy, whatever. We've been dreaming. We've been doing a lot of dreaming. COVID is starting to kind of wrap up, it seems, which is really good. Dustin and I are going to be doing some boxing training tomorrow again. I'm getting a haircut. I talked about that last time, but I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. That's going to be great. Very excited for it. We get to move forward on Batman. I was going to put some lime green in my hair, but Batman doesn't have that, and he's a detective in this, so I'm really excited. Yesterday, heavily made most of the finalizes to the script that I was working on. I'm very, very excited. I want to show a lot of people and get them involved and bring this to life. So that's going to be it for the morning podcast this morning. Really appreciate you being here. Really, really appreciate it, considering it's so early. If you're on your way to work, have a great day at work. If you're on your way to working out or doing anything, or just, waking up, starting your day, enjoying it, I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember to be good to each other. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a great experience to do this. I love to see everybody in the chat here every single morning. I really feel blessed that you guys want to spend your time with me or each other. It's really good to have this community. So I'm going to do a little shameless plug because I have to. So if you haven't already, go and visit www.brandb.ca, where you can sign up for your own user profile. We've been having some troubles with the website. I am coding the website myself, so I will work on fixing those. Actually, the other day we had complete site failure. I don't know if most of you have seen this. The entire website was down from scratch, so I had to build it up again almost in about 30 minutes. So luckily I did have a backup. But if you haven't already, go check out the website, www.brandb.ca. You can sign up for your own user profile, visit the forums, get easy access to all the videos. There is an event schedule. We do red carpet events on Saturdays, so you get to hang out with me exclusively. These links aren't posted here live for everybody, where we get to watch movies. I think not this weekend. Next weekend, we're going to be doing a 14 keys watch, which is a big improvement from 15 keys, a big improvement, but still there's some gaps, but you can see the kind of growth, in that. And I wanted to kind of show that to everybody that's kind of following along on my journey. talk about, a lot of things I've went through and where I've been and where I've ended up. So, I'm going to end this here. Saying goodbye again. Love you guys. Be good to each other. Be excellent to each other, as Bill and Ted would say. And we will see you later on this evening if you're a channel member, as we're going to be doing live gaming. Again, brandb.ca. And if not, we'll see you on Friday morning at 8 a.m. for the next podcast. Have a great day, guys. Take care.
You're listening to BRANDCAST around the world.
I know you're gonna dig this.
I'm telling you, it's real.
You're listening to BRANDCAST around the world with me, your host, Brandon Berkeley. Join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Brand new! You're listening to BRANDCAST around the world.
I know you're gonna dig this.
I'm telling you, it's real.
You're listening to BRANDCAST around the world with me, your host.